Alright, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have no clue who's going to be watching this today. It's round 3, but huge shout out to Jay Smith and welcome Sendel Krishnan. Honestly, it feels so good seeing all your familiar names back on the channel. So thank you guys so much for all the support and just the engagement for the channel and just whatever has been destined for me and my channels. But yeah, overall I just want to say thank you guys, and for anybody that's watching this stream afterwards, for those who have no idea that I exist, I hope you find the channel. And for those who have parted ways, it sucks, but it is what it is. So regardless how many people are watching here today, it is a beautiful Sunday. The weather is pretty chilly out and the leaves are changing, and it's pretty crispy and it's cold at night, so it's pretty good. Other than that, New York Comic-Con has, I think today is the last day, but mostly it has passed us with some new G.I. Joe classified reveals. So I figured in today's first episode of the live stream on the RetroShArK channel, I guess what I'm going to do here from now on, for those that are actually watching, is what's going to happen is the YouTube Shorts and community tab page will be the updates for G.I. Joe or any toy line or whatever the hell it is I want to talk about. And the actual videos itself will be like just me doing toy collections and other stuff like that. So so yeah, I don't believe Shark News is coming back, but you know, keep in touch on the community tab page and the shorts portion of the channel, and then of course we'll be doing live streams here and there. Jay says, been with you since classified started. My collection is what it is because of you. Well, you know, man, that really does mean a lot, just seeing you doing your collections thriving, which is pretty cool. But let's go ahead and talk about, but also thank you, Jay. I'm glad that your collection is doing pretty well. So let's go ahead and talk about the Comic-Con reveals and see what it is that was revealed. Was New York Comic-Con cool? Was it half-baked? We'll see. As of right now, in terms of what we know so far, in terms of classified, I believe the only names that we have so far, which Frag Viper has been, well, Frag Viper and Blowtorch are the only two names that we have been known for about a few months now. And Snake Eyes version 4, Darklon, and Crystal Ball are the 3 brand new names that were just revealed. For those that have been on the previous channel, Shark News or the RetroShArK, you know, the G.I. Joe team has been teasing Snake Eyes version 4 for some bit. Darklon has been leaked in terms of weapon prototypes, so I guess he was kind of rumored to be out at some point, so now he finally came out, or he was finally name revealed. And then the more wild card, I would say, is Crystal Ball. So Crystal Ball is a very weird looking character. He's what I call like the Ra's al Ghul from Batman version of G.I. Joe. So according to the Hasbro G.I. Joe panel team, they said that Crystal Ball looks pretty badass, so can't wait to see how that's going to turn out. Walker Collector 89, welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Sendel says, only reason my collection grows was Shark keeping me in the loop. Yeah, so I'm going to try my best to, I know this is going to be like heavy posting, but instead of doing actual like classified news like on the actual channel, I'm gonna just post it on the community tab page. So it might be a lot of posting, but you know, check back on the community tab page where I will be providing a lot of the classified links and pre-orders and stuff, because that's what I really enjoy doing, is helping people out with their collections and stuff like that. But who else do we? Yeah, so thank you so much, Walker Collector, for joining, and I appreciate you for the comment here. So the funny part is, when Hasbro announced the Firefighter recently, I thought that was actually Blowtorch with just different color scheme, but then that was actually a different figure itself, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Jay Smith says Blowtorch for the win there. Yeah, so I'm really hoping that Blowtorch will have these really cool flame effects, and at this point, based on where Classified is headed, I'm not too concerned where or what style direction these figures are going in now, because I just think like they're gonna do whatever they want at this point. So but Sendil says, do what you gotta do, Shark, the army will follow. Thank you so much, Sendil. And for those that are new or have been sent here before, Sendil was one of the awesome subscribers who sent me a G.I. Joe Classified HasLab His tank as a gift last year for Christmas. So thank you so much, Sendil, for that. I'm gonna remember that gift for the long haul. I do have, thankfully, I still have the video for of the gift that you sent me, because I lost all the other videos on the previous channel, which is completely devastating, but you know, kind of have to just keep going. But I was smart enough to save that video, so thank you, Sendil. I will remember that for the long haul. Sendil says he likes the thought of the whole Joe division. that's what's up. One thing is, I want to make sure I forgot to add the chat on here, so give me 1 second, because honestly I thought nobody was going to join today's stream because it is a Sunday afternoon, but I want to add the chat in here just because I missed you guys too much, and I'm rusty and I forgot how this works. All right, so yeah, so all right, so those are the name onlys. Pretty cool, nothing too extreme there, but I'm very curious to see. Well, Frag Viper had prototype leaks in the past few months, so we kind of got an idea of what or how that figure is going to look like. Blowtorch, again, is a figure that a lot of people are excited for. Snake Eyes version 4 is one of those figures where I wasn't really a fan of back in the day, but as I collected the O-ring version, it kind of grew on me, and I think maybe the classified one might be pretty cool. So gonna see how that one turns out. Darklon is another character where didn't really know much about him in terms of his contribution or the design of it, but as I kept looking at the figure of the O-ring, I was like, you know what, it looks pretty badass. So I think Classified is still doing a pretty good job in terms of modernizing figures and making them look pretty cool, and you know, revamping their style. So pretty happy about that. All right, in terms of digital renders, these are the only 3 that were previously released in the past. What was it? I think the last G.I. Joe event, which I honestly forgot what it was because it's been a while since I've done a live stream. But we have Law and Order, we have the Cobra Claw and the pilot, and then we have the heavy duty figure. I've already talked about these figures in a past live stream on the other channel, so nothing too new here other than based on consensus. People were like kind of meh on Law and Order. and Heavy Duty seems like a decent looking figure. They were just not too thrilled about the type of accessories that he comes with, but that's just how he technically was in the old version. And you know, like, I guess some people who are new to GI Joe don't necessarily know that they're, you know, a lot of their old designs or weapons are very extreme and intense. So Heavy Duty's giant ass launchers, or whatever the hell you want to call it, like, that's just how he was in the cartoon. So if people want like a more realistic approach to him, then maybe they won't find him just yet. Benny275 says, "We on, my G, let's effing go." Thank you. Thank you so much, Benny. Yeah, I know it's a really random time to stream, but whoever is here, whoever is going to find the channel, I'm just happy to dust off the cobwebs off the streaming portion of it and get back into it, because it's been, what, about a month and a half since I've, you know, got the other channel, you know, yeah, whatever. So thankfully this was the alternative route. So thank you, Benny, so much for joining. I appreciate you, and leaving your comments back on the previous channel as well, and all your contributions too. So thank you so much. Yeah, I enjoy communicating with all you guys, so that's really cool. All right, so those are the previous digital renders that we've had seen prior, but now let's take a look at what New York Comic-Con had to offer, because there were quite a few things that they revealed, which I thought was really cool, and some that were a little bit interesting. So the first one we're going to be taking a look at here is Footloose. Now, there may be a big fan base or a good fan base for Footloose. However, Footloose was one of those characters that I absolutely could care less for. He's not anywhere near my top even 50 figures that I like. I have the original O-ring figure, but it's still one of those figures where I just honestly don't care for. There's a lot of reused accessories here. I think that's also bazookas, missile launcher, and yeah, his face sculpt, he has that weird bob cut and the little interesting hippie mustache, which is cool. Again, even Emily said in the GI Joe panel that that Footloose can also be utilized as a green shirt army builder. So that's pretty clever on their end. However, again, Footloose is just a character that I absolutely could not care for and would rather not necessarily, it's not a dire need for me whatsoever, but it's still decent. At least Footloose is here, so we can kind of get him out of the way. Benny says, upsetting part about Comic-Con, did they have a panel for this, because I did not see Hasbro on the floor. I believe Hasbro did have the panel, because they just uploaded it on YouTube, and there were people that were there at the panel, unless New York Comic-Con is a little bit different, because it's not like as like, it's open to the public, but I think for New York Comic-Con it's a little bit more lower quality or lower attendance, and to get into the panels I think you might have to be a little more in the loop of things. But I believe there is a panel. I mean, Hasbro just uploaded it on their YouTube channel. So, and they had that whole breakfast thing involving the Ghostbusters HasLab, which I really do want to talk about, which I thought was a really cool looking HasLab. So maybe next Sunday or something we'll talk about the HasLab for Ghostbusters, because again, it was pretty awesome. So again, Footloose, whatever character, he's just one of those weird hippie looking characters. Again, not one of my favorites at all, even as a kid. could care less about this character, so nothing too you know, mandatory for me at least. Next, we have something that was very, very interesting, and I believe they said this is still continuing the 60th anniversary line, but it's also called like the Legacy series. So now we have the Firefighter, which again, I mistakenly thought that this was Blowtorch when I saw the image from far away. But it's cool that maybe, you know, the 60th anniversary line only had about 4 figures in the wave, and now it's called the Legacy series, where if you remember from the older GI Joe line, there were all these different types of characters, and one of them was a firefighter. So it's cool to see that we're having a firefighter, for that matter. So, well, it comes with an alternate head, it has the axe, and one of the Dreadnought's weapons. I forgot what that thing was called. Some couple of smaller hammers, or axes, I mean, and then the gas mask or face mask, and then he has the helmet, which is pretty cool, and then we have the, I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe that's one of those blankets to wrap people around if they're in a fire or something like that. So that's nice homage to the Firefighter division. I believe Emily did say that there's going to be another figure, part of the Legacy series, to be released down the line. I'm pretty sure next year. So with this one being the first one, I don't hold my breath that there's going to be a lot of other figures within this Legacy series, because if the 60th anniversary only had 4 figures, and then this one is kind of considered, it's still continuing the 60th anniversary, but it's also its own thing, part of the Legacy collection. It's cool. Also, a lot of new molding there too, which I think is pretty awesome. So granted that maybe we'll see another figure down the line utilize the same exact body and all that other cool stuff. So a very interesting wild card, but not sure if it's something that I'm personally interested in. But there's a lot of people that love firefighters, that love the concept of firefighters, or had family members that were firefighters. So this figure will probably hold a very special place to them. So I have nothing but respect to it. So it's a really dope looking figure for that matter. So yeah, not too much else to say there, but good enough for what it is. The next one, which was a very unique looking concept, we have Trench Viper, and it comes with a bunker and all these other cool effects, or these other cool accessories to come with it. Now, the thing that I find very interesting about this figure is that you can basically stack these bunkers on top of each other, hence why they have the ladders there. So it's good for army building. It's good for people that want to create kind of like a Cobra military base, which I think is pretty cool. Based on the figure, it seems like we have a lot of Alley Viper parts, and I can't tell from some of the, because it's more of a darker muted colors, but I love that little pixelated designs that he has, the camo pixelations, which is pretty cool. He's got the Alley Viper shield, the Alley Viper head sculpt, and then I believe it's going to be that same faceplate that lowers down, which is, you know, cool. But other than that, this is actually the first ever GI Joe classified, I guess you can say, playset building, which is something that collectors were very interested in having or wanted to have for a long time. So this is kind of like the start of giving us something very new and different rather than just a normal vehicle. And I do believe that this is going to be a Pulse exclusive, and rightfully so, just because you know it's going to be sold out pretty fast for that matter. And yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's Pulse, really can't really expect too much about it. Sendel says, wish we had more mini bases for sale by itself too. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, they have to, I don't know what their ruling is for having certain figures be part of their their exclusive part. But if they had just sold this bunker, I'm sure like people would have easily bought like 50 or 50, or maybe like, you know, people are wild out there, probably would buy like 100 of these things just because there are people who do photography and dioramas and stuff. So had they sold this separately, you know, these would sell out like wildfire. But the fact that they're adding a figure, which is a nice incentive, it just, you know, it pays for the older molds, and it's just one of those things where, you know, you're utilizing the Alley Viper figure, and I guess I can't really tell. Again, it's a little darker for me to see here, but it just helps, you know, give them a little more money in their pocket to create other figures or build other figures for that matter. So that's pretty cool. Other than that, you know, it's a cool looking figure. You know, again, if you are someone who's really running out of space, then again, this is going to be a tough thing to do, because this is definitely the first part of expanding their their classified line into kind of like the playset territory, which is very new for that matter. So we're going to see how this turns out, because again, you can really connect and put all these together. They did have an official photography piece. There was a photography piece, and then it showed them with these bunkers stacked up on top of each other, which I thought was really awesome. Sendil also says, any thoughts on this? Is them dipping their toes in the water, and next HasLab is a big playset. I don't know if HasLabs will ever be playsets, just because GIJOE is known to have like vehicles is one thing, but playsets for GIJOE is really about room and how much figures they can fit in a playset. So let's say, for example, like you can't really build like a room and have these 6-inch figures only take up about like 3 figures in a room, because it would have to be really massive. And we've seen that with like Star Wars Black Series or other Hasbro properties. So with GIJOE, it's like you got to have enough room to fit at least like 6 or 7, 8 people in there. And we've seen it ourselves, like even with the HasLab Hiss tank, with the back hatch that opens that fits the the tactician figure or whatever. It's small enough to only fit one figure unless you cram in one other one. But I don't think that Hasbro would ever do HasLab playsets. But what they might do is they might do like a build and connect type of playset and include them as Hasbro Pulse exclusives, whereas this bunker would be a great example of them saying, here we're going to add a portion of a computer panel room, and then you can connect it with another figure that's an exclusive. So like it builds like a 4-room dimension kind of thing, which I think would be really awesome. But that depends like what kind of characters they would use it with, like mainframe. They can't do it with dial tone because he's already released. Maybe a sci-fi or something. Philly Jones says, damn, ain't no wasn't Shark logged in after that Eagles win. Glad you're back live. Thank you so much, Philly Jones. It's rough to be back, but I'm happy to see you back here again with your amazing and optimism and positivity. So thank you so much, Philly Jones, for all your love and support. It's good to have you and see you here again. So thank you so much for joining. Yeah, I did read your comment before, but I will respond to it. I haven't checked my comments on the channel yet, so we'll see. All right. So that is the Trench Viper, which will circle around to later on in the future, just because we're going to wait for more official photography photos, and pretty sure this is a 2025 release, so we'll see what happens. And last but not least, part of the digital renders, we have snake eyes and a polar bear, which is part of the, I guess you can say, it's a what do you call it? I mean, it's part of the mass device, but they said there's going to be 2 more figures that contain a part of the mass device. So Snake Eyes has one of them. So the other 2 figures are going to be unknown for the time being. Based on what I see here, I think this figure does look pretty cool. It's nothing that we haven't seen already, other than, you know, it's the same face and stuff like that. And this is when Snake Eyes was in the animated series. He was holding the radiation and stuff. So again, it's more of the bluer version of it, which is fine for what it is. It comes with all that radiation hands, the pink hands and stuff like that. Karate chop hands, the fisted hands, open hands, which is cool. And then the alternate hands of the normal skin tone. They did say that there's going to be something special about the bear, because if you look on his left arm, there's a piece that you can remove. And if you look at the removed piece up close, you can see that on the top right, it has like, what do you call it? Like tranquilizer kind of like on his shoulder. So, but they did say there's something special about it. So we're going to have to, you know, wait and have them announce whatever that part is. But other than that, 2 more figures to be announced, part of the mass device, which we're gonna have to wait and see. But this Snake Eyes does look pretty cool, and it's probably, I think, the 8th Snake Eyes, not sure. Jay Smith says, we're not going anywhere. What did I make of the delays that the Hasbro team said for 2025? What was the announcement? They said, yeah, so there are going to be delays. I think it's just, I mean, to be honest, like, it doesn't really bother me one bit, because I've always been a toy hunt type of collector. So I don't really do much pre-orders. But the delays, I think, would be really good for collectors, because, you know, the G.I. Joe team, not just Hasbro in general, but the G.I. Joe team is known for shoving, you know, a bunch of pre-orders out of nowhere, and then also having credit cards being charged all at once for a specific type of figures, and you're just, you know, mad money is being blown. So I think the delays can help collectors kind of help them become sufficient and, you know, save up money, or have time or to space out stuff, or decide if they really still want to collect classified or move on to other brands, because there's so many other properties and Kickstarters that are doing such an amazing job with toys these days that, you know, there's a lot of people leaving the classified line. So I think the delays are very beneficial. It just gives people like breathing room to kind of figure out what they want to do with it, because again, we have the the Dragonfly, which is releasing hopefully in the next month and a half, which will be really nice, and I will review that on the channel. But yeah, this will give us a little nice break for the delays. You said that you thought they were giving us a sneak heads up on a delayed Rattler. I mean, maybe they're changing manufacturers, maybe they're changing something, part of their distribution. Not sure what the real answer is, because if you watch the Hasbro live stream, Emily said that she won't answer any of the questions for it, which is normal. Maybe they're gonna change manufacturers to make better plastic, better weapons, sturdier plastic, sturdier weapons. So maybe this is maybe this delay is very necessary for them to go on about. So yeah, again, I'm not too worried about it. I think it's a good breathing room for them, but it's cool for that matter. So that is Snake Eyes with the polar bear, part of the 1/3 of the mass device side subline, I guess. So pretty cool. Next we have the retro figures, which were announced not too long ago, but these figures will be going up for pre-order this Tuesday, October 22nd. So for those that are watching here, I will have pre-order links on the channel, my community tab page. The first figure we're going to be looking at here is the retro Dr. Mindbender. Now, this was a figure that I've been talking about for the past 3 years now, since the original exclusive version came out. I always said that the logo that was not on the back of the cape or the coat was very I don't want to say misleading, but it was just something that missed the mark, because that first Dr. Mindbender exclusive was very close to being a perfect figure, because had this figure been on that original exclusive, it would have easily been the one set done and deal figure. But the fact that they excluded the logo on the back of the cape or the coat is a genius marketing tactic for them to re-release the figure with it to make it look more iconic. And then they also added like a silver trim on the boot, which is cool because the original version didn't. And obviously it comes in the retro packaging, whereas the exclusive was more on the that new artwork, that exclusive style packaging. And yeah, so, and it comes with less accessories, because I'm sure like the skulls and the brain and all that other stuff that the exclusive one came with is not included in the retro one, because the retro one will just have his 2 weapons, I believe, and that's it. But it still has the monocle and, you know, all the essential stuff. So for those who did not buy the exclusive, this is your best bet, because I feel like this version is definitely better than the exclusive, just because it has the logo and the silver trim to look more iconic. But I get it, they wanted to be a little more modern about it with the exclusive version, but it seems like the retro versions are just kind of doing a better job at making classified look a little cooler compared to the modern ones, because I feel like they're kind of missing the target in a few figures. But you know, it is what it is, and it's fine. But yeah, other than that, this figure will be going up for pre-order on Tuesday, so stay tuned for the pre-order links then on the community tab page, and I'll be sure to provide it there. So yeah, check it out then. The next figure will be the Cobra Viper, which is almost perfection, just because, you know, the blues are nice, the reds are vibrant. It does come with the what do you call it, the rolled up sleeves with the arms showing, and it does come with different open hands and stuff. This was the perfect opportunity for them to make the Viper's faceplate chromed out like how the retro Cobra Commander was, but the fact that this one is still muted gray only gives me the inkling that we're gonna get one more version of this guy down the line, and he's gonna have the actual silver visor faceplate, because again, this is like almost near perfection, but it's just missing that little key components to make it the best army builder that they could have done. And for those that are no stranger to me in the channel will know that I hate knee pads. So the fact that they're reusing Scrap Iron's knee pads on this one It's not my favorite one bit, but it is what it is, and it's fine. So so not too much else to say there, other than for those that can't find the Cobra Island versions or have struggled to find the 3-pack or even the re-releases, this is definitely, you know, this will definitely help your collection boost up even more if you want to collect your Vipers and stuff. So nothing else to say there other than, you know, it's an army builder, so these will probably sell out really fast, and yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Last but not least, for the retro figures, we have Rock and Roll. Personally, I see where they were going with this figure, just because when I look at the original vintage figure, I see more of a simplistic style of it, but then I look at the this version, it's literally the exact version as the classified one, but you know, it has removed tattoos and the muted color scheme to match the original 13, which is cool. But I kind of wished, you know, there's nothing wrong with the style of it. It's just one of those things where it's the same exact figure, just stripped down. So what I really would have wished for this figure is them to kind of create like kind of a more newer body mold, but kind of give it like how Grunt's body is, you know, like a more of a classier design to it for the retro, because again, it's literally like just taking the original Rock and Roll and just giving them that muted colors to match the original 13. But I don't know, it's just something about it that I don't like, and it's kind of disappointing. However, again, I see where they're going with this and what they're trying to accomplish with it, so it's, you know, it's not a bad figure one bit. It's just one of those things where for a retro figure, I kind of wish that it went in a different direction. However, it's Hasbro, so can't really say much about it. I'm not sure if they're going to exclude the Rock and Roll hands, because we haven't seen the actual packaging just yet, but I'm sure we will see something at some point. But yeah, nothing too much else to say there. So Rock and Roll is cool. Next, we still have no idea when Nemesis Immortal will be out, but Hasbro did announce the 10/27 event, which will happen, of course, obviously October 27th. So chances are he will probably go up for pre-order then, because if you remember from San Diego Comic-Con, they did announce that Nemesis Immortal will be up for pre-order later this year, as in 2024. And the 10/27 event is the last Hasbro event of the year, so chances are we might see this figure go up for pre-order then, as to kind of end the year in a big bang, which I guess rightfully so. It would help to release this figure as the last one of the year. So chances are we'll see this guy later on this year. And for those who are also watching, I think they just recently announced the Manchester Comic-Con in London. So they did announce that there's going to be more G.I. Joe announcements or reveals. So maybe we'll see something about this guy then. So stay tuned for more reveals for Manchester, which the Manchester Comic-Con, which I believe will be October 25th through October 27th. So stay tuned for that, which I think will be pretty interesting to see what else they have to offer. But again, still no word on this guy just yet. Yet I'm pretty excited to kind of get this guy out of the way, for that matter. And to kind of conclude tonight's short stream, here are basically all the digital renders that we have for 2000, I guess 25 for that matter. We have Footloose, Law and Order, Heavy Duty, Snake Eyes, the mass device version. We have Cobra, Claw, and the female pilot. we have the Trench Viper and the Firefighter. So these are, I believe they did say these will heavily be 2025. And then we still have the announcement for Frag Viper, which I'm not sure when will that come out, but that would be, maybe it'll be 1027, because again, we've seen a lot of prototypes for Frag Viper. Maybe we'll get some kind of digital render or something, not sure. But aside from that, figures like Dial Tone, Saw Viper, what else? Who else was it? Xandar, and I forgot the other figure. Those have been delayed until next year, or like wait until late next year. So we'll see what happens with that. The Dragonfly will be released this December. The HasLab Rattler will come out by next year. And then other than that, not too sure what else there is. But these are the only digital renders we have so far. So according to what I remember now, we have Manchester Comic-Con, which will be October 25th through October 27th. And then we have October 27th will be also the Hasbro 1027 event. And then after that, we'll have nothing because it'll be the holidays. So yeah, expect to see maybe Nemesis, Immortal, and then other than that, I'm not sure who else out of these will be. Maybe my only guess will be the Cobra Claw and then the Pilot, but other than that, I'm not too sure. Jay Smith says Footloose and Law and Order will be a nice addition to the collection. Yeah, I agree. They do have a nice pizzazz to it, but all right, so other than that, I'm going to keep this live stream very short, and because it is a Sunday and I want you guys to all enjoy with your family. So other than that, I want to thank you guys all for watching, and stay tuned for more videos. And again, for those that are new or for those that are going to follow on later on in the stream, I want to make a disclaimer that I will not be doing any G.I. Joe classified videos on this channel, as in Shark News style related, but I will be doing check the community tab page and check the shorts segment, as that's where I'll be having all the updates and not necessarily be doing the normal news segments. So that's pretty much it. So hope that made sense. I'll see you guys all in the next episode. Thank you to all the people who joined and participated in the chat and left a like on the video. Thank you so much for welcoming me back to the stream despite being a little bit dusty, but let's see where this channel goes. So thank you all for watching. Be sure to give a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys